early. Sometimes it's good to be early. But our show starts at a specific time. You should remember that. Let's get started then, shall we?
Dillon, I don't give a what you think about a co-host and freshen up my show.
It might not be flashy, but sometimes you just got to toss another person to make a statement.
My show's about the people's podcast. Everyone has a voice. I don't need a co-host. Go listen to one of the other 5,000 shows with a co-host because they don't have a mouth like the big guy.
Opie, are you a career killer with Tim Sabian, yourself, and many others?
Be myself. Never had real issues with those people. They just understood that I was a different bird. The rest of them, though, I'm like, oh, shut up. I'm paying your salary because the ratings are so good, so shut up.
Right.
Live from
Somewhere.
it's
Dillon.
Greetings from somewhere. I am your host, Dillon. I am your co-host, Dillon, rather, here on Cohost Auditions. Here to find somewhere to set my second mic down to. BW Rosas. That is what you might expect from today's host. But that would be a swing and a miss. Thanks for tuning in, Matthew Hibner. And BW Rosas, we have featured before. This is a man with 17,000 videos uploaded to YouTube, and he talks about All Elite Wrestling and Sonic the Hedgehog. Today, we are starting off with a video of him giving a movie review. So, BW Rosas, those familiar with Jake Hudson, has a similar style of kind of just roaming around with his camera. That's not the right video. This is the right video over here.
Hey everyone. So I'm sure you heard about this situation happening over the weekend, but I didn't even know too much about it. I mean, I read about something on...
He has a great eye for lens flares. If he's going to get in with Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams, those guys, he finds the sun, and that is where he puts the camera so it faces directly towards. Him and Opie come from the same school of lighting. Not me. I'm not the best at lighting, but I'm bouncing it against the opposite wall. That's how I do my lighting.
I'm online on Twitter and Facebook and all that, and I had no idea what was going on. So I'm watching, a video done by Clownfish TV, Neon and Geeky Sparkles, and then I watch another one based on the same...
Slow down. Are you talking here in normal speed? Yep, normal playback speed. Auto 720. Ooh, let's see him in beautiful 1080p. Why are we only in 720 when we can really see this fence that, was it painted white at one point? Did you start painting it white? What is up there? That is a major discoloration in your fence. It looks like your fence is giving me the finger right there. You see how it comes up towards the... And the finger, it has kind of like a Satan-y kind of nail to me. Is Satan giving me the finger in your backyard, BW Rosas?
Focusing on the same subject by 3C Films, Chris, if you will, who also has 3C Films Clips, another YouTube channel is. And I was watching basically both videos, and something happened over the weekend with the release of the Minecraft movie that, well, first of all, it's one...
Oh, that's right. That's what we're here for. All those names that you just rattled off.
Thing to...
Did they tell you what you think? I've noticed that about his AEW wrestling reviews. He hears what Solomonster says, what Jim Cornette says, and then he tells you what he thinks. So...
I want to film your reaction.
Me, I don't watch wrestling. I just listen to Jim Cornette bitch about it. So that is... I'm just taking his word for it. I don't watch it myself, and then...
into a moment happening
wasting
because,
my time.
Hey, you want to preserve that moment and say, in the future that you were there when it happened initially. Like with Avengers Endgame, when, you have...
In the future, when you were there initially... Is he talking like this Minecraft movie is an event like the Kennedy assassination or 9/11 or something? That is the way that his parents used to get him to talk, Matthew Hibner, with a mouthful of peanut butter. They used to puppet him. Vocalization came very late to B.W. Rosas, and his parents didn't want the neighborhood to know about it. So they just put some peanut butter in his mouth, and the father was actually an amateur puppeteer. That I believe his name was D.M. Rosas instead of B.W. Rosas. So they did the old Mr. Ed technique when BW was the ages of about, I believe, 4 to 9 till his vocalization finally kicked in. And now I guess he just puts the peanut butter in his mouth and talks by habit.
Falcon, who's now Captain America, Anthony Mackie's voice come over the headset or intercom towards Steve Rogers, Captain America, and says, "Cap, on your right." And all of a sudden, the place just pops. It just blows. It just, the reaction is just...
This place fucking blows. Let's get out of here. And when I previously featured him, it was on Live from Somewhere. I did cut these up a bit. The style of co-host audition is I want to be your second mic, so I am off the cuff, but I can see why you might be a good fit for Live from Somewhere, getting some of this babble out of the way. Then again, that's part of your charm, is your babble.
It's, something that even people like John Campea has, repeatedly said is a moment they'll never forget, or at least acknowledged it's a moment they'll never forget. Because all theater reactions across the globe blew up.
Why didn't I wear a nerd shirt today? I should have matched my host. I usually do that. I definitely have some nerd shirts here in the dresser.
When they heard that, and they even got louder when the portals were opening and you saw all the characters of the MCU coming out to, take part in this final battle.
TNA final battle?
Later on, we have Spider-Man No Way Home, and you have the interactions between Peter Parker.
You lost me. We were going to talk about the Minecraft movie and how this was an event, and you were just relaying how the MCU was an event. I think you're getting a little off track of the topic.
Parker, Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield, and Peter Parker, Tom Holland, and the pops those got, again, you can find them online, is unreal. It is just unreal. And then, one of the more recent examples, from what I could tell,
nice dumpster,
is Sonic 4.
Is he spying on his neighbors there? That was a nice little... You didn't need to spy on your neighbors and record it. This is evidence now. I'm going to send this to your neighbors, BW.
Well, from what I could tell, is Sonic 4.
Just fucking second nature to him to be like, is she topless sunbathing today? Nope, not today. BW has a hard time telling seasons, so even though this isn't the summertime yet, he still remembers that time that he stuck his head over the fence and saw boobies, so he's going for that each and every time.
Not Sonic 4, but Sonic 3. I was just checking something again. I was just checking something there, guys. Trying to do so I have an opportunity. Because if those of you that follow me for so long, you know what spring break is about.
Thanks for finding me, despite the notification being off. I didn't do anything different this time. But we are, I believe, 2 or 3 videos in right now. So only 16,995 to go.
About, what happens. Or any other breaks throughout the year. But anyway, getting back on topic. And what I was trying to say is that recently it happened with Sonic 3. Especially the ending, the mid-credit scenes. And you see that. So it's one thing to be excited, to want to record your reaction in a moment happening. Because again, with that recent example, you have Amy Rose debuting finally, and all that, basically setting up.
Where the fuck did Amy Rose come from? We're here to talk about the Minecraft movie, according to this title.
The 4th film. So you're like, cool, this is all great, we're happy. You want to immortalize as best you can that moment. And it's nothing really new. I mean, this has been happening for years, for decades.
I'm going to have to test out that notification thing. Thanks for finding me despite the notification not being on. And getting to a quick Stern Show clip over on the Hack Ride channel.
I can recall when I went to go see The Lion King 31 years ago in Topeka, Kansas at the Restoration Mall. You know, I went there, I think it was like opening weekend, or at least one of the opening weekends. And
Ooh, multiple opening weekends for a movie. La-ti-da.
the place was packed.
Whoa, I think that's a dilapidated house just across the street from him. We noticed his fence giving us the finger there. But look at those windows. Do those look like the windows of a house that currently has occupants?
My dad was sitting down to watch it, and we get to the beginning, and you kind of get some clapping with the sun rising and all that. But in the moment they showed Pride Rock, the way they, animated that, first showing of Pride Rock, the whole place erupted.
Pride Rock I saw on the movie. That second one you mentioned about Pride Walk, I think that might have been in one of the sequels, or maybe Timon and Pumbaa series, where they got the Pride Walk out and really got those bugs a nice toastiness to them.
Erupted. The whole place clapped. They clapped. They're like, yeah, and all that. They were excited because all of a sudden they're witnessing something that they know is going to be huge. It's going to be huge in the long run. And, that's one example of reacting but not having.
It's going to be huge in the long run. I now picture him jerking his dick and saying, it's going to be huge in the long run. I'm pulling on it every night. Just by jerking off, I am helping my dick grow. It's going to be big in the long run after I get done manually jerking it to a larger size.
To be, not having a way, I should say, to post it online to share it with the world, because we didn't have that back then. And then, fast forward about, 8 years later to 2002, and again,
I'm fascinated for some reason his holding technique of his phone. We caught the shadow there just momentarily, and look at it. It's very dainty, the way he's got his phone there in his hand. But I do appreciate you holding your phone daintily. Can I even? No, I wouldn't be able to do that with my phone. You got a smaller phone than I do, larger hands than I do. Maybe a little bit of both. Oh, you're packing, aren't you, with those size hands?
8 years later.
It's always the tards, lady. If you can find the proper song beat for the tard to fuck you to, then you're that giant tard dick. You got something good, because really teaching them the rhythm without something to bang to, good luck.
To 2002.
Lady tards don't have that problem with guys. Doesn't matter what your rhythm is.
And
hard
again,
rhythm is
we're
good.
just a few years away from YouTube and these kind of things probably being posted online. But you fast forward 8 years later, and I'm sitting at the Southwind Mall, I think that's what it's called, in Lawrence, Kansas. It's just down the street from where I live. So I'm
4.5 minutes in, he started winding up to talk about the Minecraft movie, and we're off we're not even in left field anymore. The ball has bounced in to like the concession and restaurant area.
Sitting there, and I'm getting ready to watch X-Men 2, X-Men United, and I saw it twice in that day. I saw it twice. And I think it was one of those shows, I think the first or second showing, when we saw that scene at the end, after Jean Grey had sacrificed herself, and then we see that ocean she sacrificed herself in, overhead. We get that overhead shot of that ocean or that river, and we suddenly hear her voice, and suddenly we see,
Nice flowers you got there in the back. You gonna plant those? It looked like they were still in their planters.
What is in that.
We're looping back. This isn't like the Jake Hudson 500. He didn't take a full lap around the house. He is making a U-turn back the way whence we just came.
River, based on what you're saying, everybody in that theater erupted. And there was a guy that I sat next to, I high-fived. I was like, yeah, here we go, because we knew what that meant for the third film. that meant the Phoenix. We were going to get the Phoenix, although we didn't get the Phoenix the way we were supposed to get her, initially, or we thought we were going to get her.
I bet this guy would be a fantastic wingman. He is very friendly and very talkative. Where we overthink it, us fellows that are different than BW, he's got all this confidence and very talkative. I think, yeah, I choose you as my wingman for the next year, BW Rosas. You made me realize that with that comment, Luigi Greenberg, of how you could be friends, not just friends going out multiple nights of the week, trolling for puss, trolling for tang. You and me, BW Rosas.
Get her in the third film, but still, thankfully, Bryan Singer came back and corrected that, with Days of Future Past. But anyway. But to get to the point...
Oh, ASMR bedtime stories. There was a clown, Giggles the Clown. I haven't seen her streaming as a clown lately. She's just been her old regular self, Pearl, without the makeup. This guy could definitely fill in for us where Giggles really left us off with those ASMR bedtime stories.
We were all happy. We were all excited. And again, remind you, this was 3 years before YouTube. 3 years before YouTube. So to film to have that kind of reaction, it's nothing new. But here's the big difference, though. Here's the big difference.
He's saying it like an epiphany. Here's the big difference, though. Oh, is this the dilapidated building we're about to come up on? I should have been paying more attention to this background. Oh, he was talking about the Lion King earlier. That tree kind of does look like the one of those main trees. Was it the one that Rafiki lived in?
Our reactions were nothing compared to what the Minecraft movie did. Now, of course, there have been reports in the past where certain individuals, not entire crowds, but certain individuals, would do some weird stuff.
Yep, the dilapidated building. One window completely gone. One halfway there. Or is that a screen that's halfway there? Halfway there. Halfway there. That was an out of context SpongeBob reference.
Rated stuff, if you will, that would basically make the news and get them kicked out of the theater, if not banned for the theater for good. And that's one thing. That's one thing. And that's one individual. That's one individual. That's it. But
that was the fence that he looked over. That he doesn't go past. He doesn't go all the way around that point. This is the U-turn spot. I wonder if the fence is really tight up against the house there. The property line in the back there didn't work out in their favor. Or no. That's the front. That's the front of the house. His parents told him to stay at the back of the house within the fence, which is a good thing after Adam ruined it for all of us. Adam Walsh ruined it for all of us. It would have been someone eventually. You were just the biggest one, Adam Walsh.
But
I'm sure that's what he told you. You were the biggest one.
Maybe even two.
Let's not do those jokes. Oh, boy. That's a slippery slope. I'm about to go and make jokes like that.
There have been some reports that some people will go to a movie, go into the back, way back, if you will, where they can't be seen, like in the corner, and instead of watching a movie, they would get it on. But again, that's like one or two individuals. And of course, we've heard about some tragic situations, of course, as well. I mean, the most infamous is what happened with, with the Dark Knight and everything.
But what about Minecraft? This video is... I chose this one for your movie review on Minecraft. There's a positive... Maybe I read this video title incorrectly. This is 3 weeks ago posted. 56 views. Oh, there's one product in here that he's got for sale. There's positive in theater reactions to certain moments in film. Then there's the Minecraft movie. That's how this video is titled. So I thought it was a Minecraft movie review. 7 minutes in, and so far, nope.
In that movie, the second Christopher Reeves, not Christopher Reeves, but Christopher Nolan, excuse me, Christopher Nolan film.
Oh, Matthew Hibner, we've been talking about you dabbling and dabbling. If you enjoy the way this guy walks back and forth, the Jake Hudson 500, doing laps around his mobile home, that might be up your alley. And Spurgsnake was right on top of that. We're several chats deep by the time I noticed that. And yep, that's why I thought this guy might have something to offer this corner of the intranet.
You know, it had Christian Bale. You know, the second one. We all know about that tragic situation. But again, what I'm getting at, though, is there have been all kinds of situations. Some embarrassing, some tragic, like I said, you know, and they've all made the news. And, you know, look, nothing hilarious or crazy or anything, or, you know, embarrassing.
I love when you pass by this building. It's my favorite building.
Embarrassing, if you will, or uncouth about, you know, the tragic situation and, you know, doing that screening of the Dark Knight film, you know, nothing fun about that. I mean, that is a tragedy that should never, thankfully, never happen again.
I caught your shadow as you're talking about tragedies.
You know, nothing fun about
one of the biggest tragedies in film. I can't think of a joke, so let's not take a big swing there before we make a riff, because I'm looking at your shadow.
Tragedy that should never, thankfully, never happen again. But point I'm getting at is we've had a lot of different moments. We've had a lot of different moments. And I know people will say, well, you know, this pales in comparison to what happened in that Colorado theater. Yeah, it does pale in comparison because, you know, it wasn't tragic, but you have to imagine.
Okay, you're losing me again. Did I miss a more recent theater tragedy? What in the fuck are you talking about? Are you comparing a movie being of poor quality, which Tracy would disagree with you, by the way, if you're calling it of such a tragedy that it's opening night, midnight showing of Dark Knight, and any screening of Minecraft. Is that what we're getting at? Didn't see that gag coming from you. It's kind of like a Norm Macdonald moth joke, the way that you built up to comparing the shooting at the Dark Knight midnight showing to just any old showing of Minecraft. Didn't see that one coming. Bravo.
You have to imagine that it was downright embarrassing for the parents who may be taking their kids or accompanied their kids to the film, or probably found out about this because the police got called. Because yes, police did get called. They got called to, you know, to basically, you know, restore order. You had theater management, and a lot of these videos, I'm not going to put any of these videos online, but you know, a lot of these videos, because you can find them mostly online too, but a lot of these videos also show theater management coming in and say, hey, keep it
U-turn time, back around whence we came. And these aren't interesting buildings. I haven't remarked on this part of the three sides of his backyard, because this is the most unremarkable side of all.
down, or you guys are going to get your asses thrown out. And you know, and it's like, you know, you gotta imagine how embarrassing it is for the parents. You know, they get this phone call, or they're looking on their Instagram or their YouTube or their social media, and they're seeing their theater on there, and they're seeing maybe their kid on there doing what they're doing. It's like, what is this? What did I send my kid to? You know, it's one of those situations to where,
if only I wasn't reacting to a pre-recorded video. I'd have to stop you right there. We need to unpack. You kind of lost me somewhere in the middle of the point you were making.
it's one thing to have a reaction to, you know, a certain character coming on screen and everything, you know, making their debut, like with Sonic, the mid-credit scene of Sonic 3, you know, with Metal Sonic and then Amy, you know, that's one thing. You know, it's another, you know, to be excited towards the ending of a film like Avengers Endgame and you have that assembly of all the characters. That's another. You know, it's one thing to be excited about the interaction between all three Spider-Men. Okay, that's a third. You know, And also, even pre-YouTube days, pre-social media days, it's one thing to high
He gave us an unexpected turn there.
five and be excited of, oh, the
You
Phoenix
turned quicker than you needed to.
is coming. Or it's another to be excited at the opening of a film because you know it's going to be big. You know it's going to be a classic. Just the way it's presented. It's one thing to do all that. It's one thing to do all that, but all of those were always done in an orderly fashion. The people that would go and see these films.
That was a nice mouth noise. I can't let you just go by without acknowledging that mouth noise right after I hit mute on my big old mouth noise.
Orderly fashion. The people that would go and see these films, families.
More of a nose noise than a mouth noise.
Fashion.
Anyone watching the Righteous Gemstones? Uncle Baby Billy and his cocaine. Really making me think of Popeye and his spinach this past week.
The people that would go and see these films, families or individually, would do it in an orderly fashion because they knew, one, it was the end of the film, which kind of helped, or the middle of the film, which kind of helped, but they also knew that after that initial reaction was done, they could just move on. They could just focus on the rest of the film to see what's going to happen next. But this was embarrassing. Even the UK got into it, but
I haven't heard a damn thing about the Minecraft movie yet. I'm gonna turn to the chat and talk about the Righteous Gemstones for just a moment. God bless this cocaine. And then, like, the real version of Popeye with his spinach. Oh, I'm eating my greens. I'm gonna take Bluto out. And then Bluto just pummels him, as it was with this old man cock and his cocaine. Boom, taken all the way down, and it's almost finished. So Tracy, you can watch it over a weekend like a big old movie. 4 seasons of 9 episodes, and it seems like they wrapped everything up. I wonder if they're going to do another flashback for the final episode. But BW, anything about the Minecraft movie? We got about a minute left for you to say something about the Minecraft movie, which is in this title.
But the UK theaters were more respectful. It's like when the attendant or the management came in and said, look, you don't do this, you're going to be kicked out. They were fine. Here in the US, you have videos going around where you have teenagers just joking about saying, can I get a refund? Oh. It's like, this ain't a joke, folks. You have one person getting popcorn thrown in the back by a teenager. You have teenagers and kids going up on the stages of the theater doing speeches or going in front of one of the audiences before a group of audiences before the movie happens, giving a speech. And it's like, what are you doing? You even have one parent or one.
Oh, you're in the older theater. You're in the part of town where some people don't go anymore, aren't you? You've got a big laundry list of all the attendees being unruly there. Yeah, that used to be the nice theater in town that you're going to. It might be the second run theater, which is why you said something about the Minecraft movie in your title, but didn't talk about the Minecraft movie here because you're waiting. I waited for shit to come to the second run theater. Why the fuck not? Just need to wait 2 more weeks and I can get it for. It was cheap. It was like $5 or less, wasn't it? Yeah, it was like $3.50, I think. I think the Loch Ness Monster got in there with his $3.50.
One person telling one of the kids doing that, get down. It's, again, it's one thing to be excited about a film happening and everything. It's one thing to be excited. It's another to take it too far, and they took it too far here. They took it too far. And you have parents coming in, being called to get their kids. You're having kids escorted. It's like, I think one person was right. They need to, at least for the movie, grow up and keep the fandom to a very low minimum. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the whole situation. Were you part of this? Did you see this happen in person when you attended the film? Let me know. What did you feel about it? And until then.
Is there a major story that I'm missing? Did I miss out on some tragedy happening at the Minecraft movie. That might be what he was talking about. The way he's talking, it sounded like somebody died at the Minecraft movie. Didn't it, Tracy? I'm not sure what exactly he's talking about. Well, he did mention Sonic the Hedgehog. I figured we'd drop in to this video a couple times because we've seen our buddy Gummy Chainsaw has something similar with all sorts of people in the Dabbleverse, and our buddy BW Rosas did a live stream. He doesn't appear to have hooked it up for sound and commentary himself, but before we get to that, the Popcorn putting an eye out. Did I miss that in his babbling? I was just checked out at that point. Did Rini pick up on a funny projectile being popcorn as a lethal weapon? I was ready to end that video. I need a little interlude of some gameplay here, and he has got this one is entitled "Battle of the Sonic Girls." Sally Acorn and Bunny Rabbit versus Rogue the Bat and Amy Rose. So Amy Rose, I think she was only featured on Sonic CD, and then some later after I stopped paying attention. Rogue the Bat, drawing a blank. The other two from the Saturday morning cartoon. So let's see these intros. a massive shooting. He did. I do like misquoting it the way that Plinkett would say a protagonist. It was a massive shooting there at the theater.
They are ready for a fight.
Oh, you got one of these. There we go.
The following contest is a tag team match.
They do have a lot of mods out there. He probably has a console system. So these aren't like full-on faces, because you can have like full-on battles of the Cookie Monster and Elmo and all the rest of the Sesame Street gang, and they look proper, but it's only with mods there on the PC version. These are kind of horrific. Just having like the mask looking like you have stockings over your head and kind of just colorful Sharpied these animal faces onto them.
Set for one fall. On the way to the ring, you are looking at some highly motivated competitors in this match, looking to steal the show and capture the attention of the entire WWE Universe.
Emperor Chew must be one of those Sonic fanboys, isn't he? I know just a little bit about Pamper Chew, Matthew Hibner. You didn't put any fireworks or anything into it? I mean, these are your... I was going to say they're your tag team champions, but they've got mismatched belts. That's two different women's titles that they have, so apparently they're not the tag team champions together.
Here comes trouble.
I find these masks to be a little more well done, but it does look like Amy Rose was made like a clay bust of a face, and then someone punched it.
And their opponents.
The tag division has been extremely competitive as of late. Every duo looking to show why they run things around here.
Well, he was able to get the bat wings on her back, so that's nice. And that's another thing that the AEW game dropped the ball on, was the creation suite. The WWE games are so intricate with their creator wrestlers. you can have your buddies and versions of different fantasy characters like this. And it's just very limited in Fight Forever. It was Fight for a couple of months. BW Rosas getting down with the Sonichu wrestling Annie. And the fascinating thing about this video is that it's an hour and 3 minutes long. And then I go to the description here. It's an Iron Man match,
true test of endurance,
where anything goes. So we've got
in this Iron Man match.
Now you ain't
60
kidding,
minutes of this same match.
Only the best of the best need apply.
Getting the shoulder up before
I wonder if BW Rosas went AFK for like 15 minutes when he got a little too excited and had to do something about all these Sonic ladies getting it on in such a fashion.
We're going to hyperdrive.
That was our little interlude. We'll come back to that closer to the end. We'll make a big old jump when we return to BW Rosas doing that. Let's head over to his Easter haul. He does a lot of unboxing videos. One debuted during one of my streams. I should have just went for that the entire time. Eventually I did. I should have known. This is whatever BW Rosas is doing. It's far more fascinating than anything else I can do. So here is an... Did I sound like the squeaky voiced teen to you there for a second? Here is his Easter haul. I won as part of the adult Easter egg hunt game. Oh, yeah. That phrasing is reminding me I missed out on the adult Easter egg hunt. It definitely involved booze.
So, yeah, hope you guys had a safe and happy Easter Resurrection Day with your family and friends.
Resurrection Day. I did mention last time that apparently me joking of Easter caused a big-titted, red-headed, tattooed, swipey match to stop chatting with me, because Happy Easter she sent to me, Happy Bunnies and Jesus Day I sent back to her, and didn't hear back. And really, if that amount of silly gooseness causes you to stop the conversation... I think someone was trying to jump me. There was one that was very odd of not meeting in a public place. And then, yeah, I'm not getting into it. Maybe if it's not deleted, I can pull what was said. It sounded like I was going to get jumped, and I just had to say, no, going to pass.
I just wanted to show you some things here. I'm sure like with a lot of families, you guys have little Easter egg hunts and games that you do, not just for the kids, but for the adults. Well, we did... Excuse me. Well, we did...
This isn't alive. Anytime there's a cough or something, I don't think you guys have really gotten my sneezes. I'm surprised about that. I have such distinctive sneezes. When I started going out to the bars when I was in my mid-20s in Maryland... and people would hear it. It was in college, too. My little cat sneezes. They would look at me, were you the guy that sneezed in second grade? So I have such a distinctive sneeze. If you were in a class with me in grade school, we may kick off a whole conversation thanks to little cat sneezes like that.
For the kids, we let them do their thing. And then after that... we decided...
how could I get away without analyzing what's going on here? Let's give this the big ol' screen to see what's going on here. I maybe should have given him the big ol' screen this entire time with all the fun that was happening in his backyard. So we've got ginger beer. I don't know this cock and bull ginger beer. Oh, maybe I do. Cock and bull ginger beer. I think that might be part of... I wanted to analyze what's in the background, because it's a bunch of Mickeys. He's got Steamboat Willie, he's got Fantasia Mickey, He's got the standard Mickey. I don't want to make fun of you anymore.
Well, time for the adults to do it. And the adults, they just get things that the kids can't and all that. Although the kids sometimes, some of them might feel a little left out, but, it's understandable. They want more at a certain age, and everything. But long story short, excuse me, long story short, we decided to, like I say, have a little fun and do a little Easter egg hunt deal where basically when you found the eggs, mostly plastic, a few...
There we go, My Little Pony. I want to make fun of you again. It's back.
Boiled, mostly plastic. Inside it would be a paper along with a candy, and the paper would tell you what you won for that game. So we had to do it. We had to do it twice. Actually, after the first initial run for the adults, I had to do a do-over because there was one missing or two missing. And long story short,
too late.
Everybody got everybody got something.
Sounds like you got a case of something. You got bronchitis. I got my Easter egg. Yeah, I picture it like the virus from The Simpsons. An actual, you can see bronchitis come up. They got booze. They got chocolate. I got bronchitis.
Excuse me, everybody got something. And me, I guess I turned out to be the big winner because I ended up getting two things in the first initial run. I ended up getting this and these together. This is cotton candy and this is chocolate cross. And
what's in the box, Stash?
And this was a camera that the camera bag and dangle, I think, camera bag and dangle that one of my sisters.
Dangle? That isn't Dangle. Dangle wears shorty shorts in his outfit.
Had, but they never used. And it's a Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse dangle bag. So basically, it's a camera bag, but it's a purse, as they would say. But it's a camera bag designed as a purse or something.
It's a mail purse, sir.
So,
as long as you don't call it a purse, it's not a purse. It's a merce.
Yeah, that's basically what it is, if you will. So, yeah, I got that.
Welcome in. Check out our buddy, the cousin of Jake Hudson. He just did a few rounds around his house, King of all diffs, and now I'm... But all of his videos, about 2/3 of the way through, I am ready to bail. You already showed us what else you had. I have a few things on the docket here. He is an Easter guy. This one is just 16 seconds long. That is how you get up to 17,000 videos, as BW Rosa has on YouTube. Some are just 16 seconds long. So let's see what's doing here. That's not the best sunshine. We can see that your window is a bit dirty, and I probably am not one to talk, but I'm not shooting the sunrise outside of my window with some visible dirt on at least one side of it. Okay, I expected there to be some words of some sort. Oh, yes, and let's go back to the standard view here. Unless he shows off more of his My Little Pony rant, My Little Pony merch. So the reason that BW Rosas has become a mainstay is his coverage of All Elite Wrestling. And I had to go back a bit for this one because he covered WrestleMania a lot. That happened this past weekend, 2 weekends ago, whatever the fuck it was. It was recently, and he talks a lot about WrestleMania. Son of a bitch. Visible dirt on my face. At least I got rid of the visible white dirt. That's the one that could get me in trouble, King of all diffs. There is a little visible ash on my white shirt as well from when I out the smoking device. Yes, YouTube, you're okay with that, right? The smoking device. trying to work around what you can and cannot say.
So,
okay. This is a nice. Let's get back to that view I had before. How silly of me to take that view away when we have so many ponies. We get many more. So those Mickeys, they are always at the forefront of the figures. Then we have some Sonics, and then we have some My Little Ponies. Is that a Squirtle? Do we have Pokemon mixed in with the My Little Ponies? The wall ponies up top, I can't quite tell. That kind of looks like turtle packaging. But you got a lot going on here. It's much more than my checkerboard pattern with my 8x10s of movie stills.
So earlier I did a video where I talked about how Tony Khan lost the plot and AEW Dynasty kind of proves it. Well, I also watched...
Oh yes, the title of this video, TK, that's Tony Khan, the owner and booker and 80 other things at All Elite Wrestling, because Tony Khan can't delegate. He wants to do everything. He's popping the corn. He is changing the light bulbs. You cannot recreate the Sting Hogan build with Darby Mox, nor can you only be about wrestling. Should have stopped before that nor. That gets a little bit odd, that phrasing there at the end. Nor can you only be about wrestling. Tony Khan is about putting on bangers. The WWE is about drama. They're doing stories. That's what he's referring to. So we are on the same wavelength there. What else? Yes, and Darby and Mox. Moxley is their world heavyweight champion. Darby Allin is climbing Mount Everest right now. So if he doesn't die, maybe he'll win the title from Jon Moxley.
Watched a short, not short, but a clip that JD from NY206 put on his JD from NY206 Shorts channel, or his JD from JD from NY2 Shorts channel here on YouTube. And basically, he named it correctly and amply justified. He went into God mode. He went into rage mode. And he, along with Jesse...
Let's hear that burp again.
He went into God mode. He went into rage mode. And he, along with Jesse... Jesse was more calmer out of the two.
A twofer! Let's get that twofer again. Let's go to 27 seconds there. Your hand was already over your mouth for the first one.
Into God mode. He went into rage mode. And he, along with Jesse... Jesse was more calmer out of the two. That being heel Jesse, Chi-Town Mark. You know, he was more calmer out of the two, but JD just let it loose.
You shouldn't have brought the Sprite there. You should have got yourself a water. That would have helped you out before going live there. I understand those syrupy, sugary drinks are fucking wonderful, but more water, BW.
He just let it be known how he felt about the whole, ending of Dynasty, and how the pay-per-view was nothing more than a glorified collision, in his opinion, or a glorified Dynamite. And you can't blame him if you watch the pay-per-view. Heck, I was considering it, but like I said in the title of my recent video before this, I'm glad I didn't spend my $25 Amazon gift card on paying for half of that, and I got something better.
You know what? Let's jump midway into this video. Maybe he's onto the topic by this point, but as we did see by his first video, where he was much more Jake Hudson-like in his wandering around.
You were giving us not just good pro wrestling, you were giving us stories accompanying that wrestling. And that's what made people attracted to you. That's what made people want to tune in and watch every week. That's what made people sell out Wembley the first time you went there.
Does he say Wembley the correct way with 3 syllables like Hulk Hogan does as well?
And watch every week. That's what made people sell out Wembley the first time you went.
Wembley, as we learned by Hulk Hogan and no one else on earth, that is the proper way to say Wembley when you were trying to shoehorn in Wembley into a song and you need 3 syllables.
There. And now all of a sudden, you want to be more wrestling than story? It don't work that way, Tony. You're either in for the whole thing or you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're either in for the whole shebang or you're not. You either dive in full in to the deep end of the pool or you're just staying in the
Wembley Stadium in the UK, king of all diffs. I think AEW might be touring Wimberley, Texas as well, but no R in that Wembley.
shallow. What's it going to be? Okay, what's it going to be? Because honestly, right now you're in the shallow end. You're in the shallow end. Even I've gone in, when I've gone to swimming pools, even I've gone a little into the deeper ends. Not totally deep, but I've gone midway through. All these.
You were starting to make an analogy, and then you just started being literal about it. You see, Tony Khan, you're in the shallow pool. And when I get in the pool, you know, sometimes I'll go midway to the deep end. That doesn't work with this analogy anymore, because you haven't gone that way in this analogy, only physically.
Please try to. The point I'm getting at is if you're going to dive head first straight to the deep end and swim with the sharks, you better better make sure you're ready.
Why are there sharks in the deep end? That doesn't make sense. They would certainly make their way to the shallow end as well. What's stopping them?
First, straight to the deep end and swim with the sharks.
Okay, I need this analogy from the beginning. And there you see, he's already midway in it of jumping headfirst into the deep end with the sharks. They're smart animals. I think they're going to be able to get to that shallow end of the pool quite well. And did this pool have chlorine? I think that's going to kill the sharks.
Not totally deep, but I've gone midway through. Or at least try to. The point I'm getting at is if you're going to dive head first straight to the deep end and swim with the sharks, you better better make sure you're ready to do that. You better make sure all hands are on deck.
I think that belongs on the board. That is that is a turn of phrase that we need to say more often. If you are going to jump headfirst into the deep end with a bunch of sharks, and then he kept going for a while too, didn't he?
Really deep, but I've gone midway through. Or at least try to. The point I'm getting at is if you're going to dive headfirst straight to the deep end and swim with the sharks, you better better make sure you're ready to do that. You better make sure all.
No, he didn't go on. He just trailed off. You better. This is like a jumpin' Jeff Farmer type of promo here. Taking note that we are around 650 into this original video from BW Rosas. This is up there in the pantheon of great promos.
All hands are on deck, and right now that's not the case. That's not the case, Tony. And what's even crazy about this is you have people speculating that all this is leading up to Tony either giving Hangman Adam Page or Darby Allin the ball to be his Sting, his hero for AEW over the Death Riders. Look, Adam Page right now makes more sense. And obviously it looks like they're going in a storyline direction to make that happen. How they get there from this story direction,
from what I understand of this third hand, listening to Jim Cornette, Will Ospreay is the name to beat the fellow. I wonder if BW has been listening to the same Jim Cornette episodes.
The story's going to...
Jim Ross does podcasts with that wife beater, Conrad Thompson.
Make any sense.
But he only beat his former wife, not his current wife. His current wife is Ric Flair's other daughter, the one that isn't wrestling on television. Conrad Thompson. I wish he did a solo podcast. That would be fun to cover one day.
How they get there from this story direction, if the story's going to make any sense, is another story in itself. Is another story in itself. But the other option being Darby Allin, we don't even know if Darby even going to be back. A lot of people are saying if he's doing the Mount Everest thing, for all they know.
Ooh, a West Coaster is Matthew Hibner. I've still been kind of ambiguous. I've let it drop a few times which time zone I'm in. Well, it's down to 3 because I've said flat out I'm not on the West Coast. And back to you, BW Rosas. I'm going down a road of nonsense, nowhere words, just like you. You're rubbing off on me.
They know he'll be back all right, but he'll be back sealed in a pine freaking box. You know, is that what you're hoping for, Tony? That the guy you're looking at as your Sting, as your version of Sting, just because you paired him up with him, you're hoping that's the guy that's going to be your hero, if not Hangman? Is that what you're hoping? You're hoping to recreate Sting and Hogan with Allen and Mox? Let me explain something to you about that, okay?
Oh, he's getting serious now. He's taking off his glasses. This is your plan, Tony? Tony, sit down. We need to have a talk now of this long-term booking of yours. I can set a goal every episode now, but I find it I would find it too sad to not hit the goal. I can give out some memberships, can I? I'm doing member shows every other week, and we will be going back to the TikTok deleted scenes next week, doing a live from somewhere with Spurgsnake. The after show for Hack Ride Networks. Hack Ride going off around the time we come on. So you folks checking him out? Check me out too, like Luigi Greenberg did.
Hey, let me explain something to you, all right? What made Sting and Hogan special is that it was built for over a year and a half, and it had layers upon layers and upon layers and upon layers built upon it that made it intriguing month after month, week after week, Monday after Monday, and sometimes occasionally clash after clash, pay-per-view after pay-per-view. It made it intriguing because you didn't know what Sting's loyalties lied. Even though as we got closer and closer to Starrcade 97.
Ooh, are you going to compare this to AJ Styles right before he left TNA Wrestling? Because that was a better recreation of the Sting storyline.
You started seeing where his loyalties lie, and they were building it from basically the late summer all the way up to mid-fall, early winter, to when we got the match. And again, they had basically previously, I should say, another half year previously to help build to it. And what made it even more interesting, you had the layers and layers built upon it and everything. What made it even more interesting is guess what? Sting at times was given the opportunity to outsmart the NWO. Yeah.
And as I covered, Darby Allin can't do that. He's up a fucking mountain for months on end.
He was able to play mind games, outsmart them. He gave WCW the courage to stand up and finally, take out the NWO and take back, the control of the company.
I don't think the Alf made-for-TV movie has ever come on my radar, Spurgsnake. That sounds like a thing that's probably just waiting to be watched over on YouTube, isn't it? Because the Alf final episode is well documented now. It's on the list of the worst endings of all time. Alf gets abducted by CIA agents, and then the season ends. It was a cliffhanger to make sure that the network brings him back, and they didn't bring him back. So I imagine the made-for-TV movie really got that all. They addressed that. I don't think the cartoon was in the same universe to talk about that, and they would have had to pay a pretty penny to Mr. Denby, Norm's boss in the Norm Show. That actor hated that puppet. I wish that it was on film of him throttling the puppet. It's been noted. I believe that it's true that Mr. Denby fucking the Alf puppet, because he was a real Shakespearean theater actor, and this fucking puppet is the center of his every performance.
And also, what made it even more interesting is they allowed the title to switch hands even for 5 days, for a week, if you will, when they allowed Lex Luger to beat Hulk Hogan in Detroit. That made things interesting because you're thinking, oh good, we got the belt back, but we didn't know, I should say, it was only going to be for less than a week.
Oh, he's talking about the Luger title change. Oh, no, I knew. I was, fucking 12 years old, 10, 12 years old, and even I fucking knew. Oh, they gave him it. He's going to give it back on the pay-per-view.
He lost it 5 days later back to Hogan, but still the point is they kept it interesting by having that happen.
I knew Alf couldn't be such a bad man. It was someone with an Alf mask that was a bad man. Although there is the outtakes that they have online of Alf being a complete perv and filthy mouthed in the, I think it's like 10 minutes of outtakes of him fucking around and being a perv and filthy with the puppet. Oh, that's not going to start the video. This will.
So honestly, Tony, you could try your best to recreate, Hogan and Sting with Allen and Mox. It's not going to be the same. You either got to go one direction and stick.
The good guy has face paint. How is it different?
Stick with it, or just.
Sting was up in the rafters. Darby is up on the mountain. Actually, the more that you talk about this, the more I'm realizing that it is kind of the same thing. I think I do want to do a show with B.W. Rosas. Most of the people I cover on this, I grow a disdain for, and I don't want to do a show. I want to do a show with B.W. Rosas.
Call it off, call an audible, give it the title to whoever wins the Owen Hart tournament, and be done with this. Because there is no way in hell you are ever going to create Sting and Hogan. That's pretty much confirmed. And there's no way in hell, that the Death Riders are going to be as good as the NWO. Period.
Oh, just be good, damn it. I should have thought of that. Yeah, his advisors are not giving him the proper advice of just be good, damn it, Tony.
End of discussion. And finally, you need to realize that you can't run a wrestling company and be 90.
We do need to condense some of what you've said in this promo here to. Let's hear that.
In hell, that the Death Riders are going to be as good as the NWO. Period. End of discussion. And finally and foremost, you need.
That was it. First and finally and foremost. First and finally and foremost.
Discussion. And finally and foremost, you need to realize.
That was even more bumbling around than I realized. The Babble Walker kind of kicked that hacky sack around before drilling it where it needed to go.
That you can't run a wrestling company and be 90% wrestling, 10% story. No, you need to be 50-50, equal, even Steven, and that in the long run will help your company grow. And also by doing so, you allow the talent that, they're good in the ring, but potentially it could also be good outside of it, or even entertainment wise, it allows them to explore their personalities and basically grow as a talent outside of the wrestling.
This is someone who wants to see AEW do well and is very disappointed that AEW isn't doing as well as it could be.
Abilities. It's time to wake up, Tony. It's time to wake up and realize fun time's over. Either hand the ball off to somebody else, stop trying to pay homage to stuff or recreate it in your image, and be your own company. Don't try to be something else that you're not, because you're not WCW, and the Death Riders ain't the NWO, and I think...
Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to click on Aaron. I've been enjoying not covering Aaron. The ladies over there on Pretty Antisocial seem to really enjoy covering Aaron. I was not having a good time covering Aaron Imholt. So that was quietly retired, as I could not handle Rolf and Imholt at the same time. And definitely looking forward to the next in the series of unreliable narrators. Corey Feldman definitely coming second. That will be happening after I get a nice break, after I restore my mental health, as Chris Chan would say about his heart, to a 100%. We'll be covering Corey. We need some more unreliable narrators. The Blind Mike project? No, Blind Mike and Carl. They're both covering Megan Fox. That is another fascinating, just full of shit narrator. unlike our buddy BW Rosas here, he is not frustrating like Aaron. He is not an unreliable narrator. He calls it as he sees it, and I love it when he calls it from his backyard.
So I wanted to come on here, do a bit of a vlog for you for this past week, this past spring.
Especially when the sirens are blaring, go into the house next door with no windows in it at all, where the crackheads like to squat.
Break week. Because as a lot of you know that have followed me for the past 17 years, or going on 17 years this June, when it comes to these quarterly breaks, it gets a little tricky and hard to, upload content for you guys, because I got to work around certain situations or find opportunities. Now, thankfully, I was able to find some opportunities over this past week to get you guys some content, but as you probably noticed, when they would be uploaded, sometimes, the times they would be uploaded and premiered, it would kind of let you know exactly the situation, or you kind of get an idea of the situation as to why they would premiere at that time, or whether, whether it was late. Or
you know what? I'm going to go ahead and jump halfway into this video like I did with the last. See if you've picked up on the train of thought. You seem to sputter around for a little bit, but you really picked it up on the last video when I jumped halfway through. So going to jump halfway through on vlog for this past spring break week of a month ago.
this exact time a week from today.
42 views 3 weeks ago. We do have similar types of views. It would make me more happy if my videos consistently got over 1,000. So when they don't consistently get over 100, it's like, gee whiz, I really am doing it just for us. We're in a secret club, Spurg, Rini. And you members are in a super secret club. You got to see Kayla. I did not follow Kayla. That last video is all we have of Kayla from the previous members-only video of TikTok deleted scenes. Very upset at myself for not following Kayla. That was... she's a one-hit wonder in this world, unfortunately, because I was foolish enough to not follow her, and I can't fucking find her again.
Or it's going to continue. But mainly what it'll be is more like a consultation, maybe a look over of what needs to be done. And I've looked online, and I kind of found out that basically, or not found out, but I kind of learned that one of the ways I think they may go, based on what I saw online, visually, is they might go a bridge. At least
what you saw online visually. But what did you taste online? What did you see online auditorially?
to the bottom. For the bottom here, they might...
Oh no, one of your visible ones are missing. Damn.
Might go a bridge on the back, on both sides, and they might do a little bit of a bridge on the top, because of the top area and all that. But because most of the teeth on the top are still there, so I think a little bit of a bridge here, to fill in that, and then
that's really something. I guess that's why your lip is doing that thing, because that's a bunch right up there up front that just aren't there.
Bridge on both sides here, and I've read up that it's gonna take time, like 24 to 48 hours before you could drink regularly again, if you will. But when it comes to like foods, you'll still be able to eat okay.
Well, I drink irregularly to begin with. It's only like twice a week or so. Well, I guess people at AA say that is regular, wouldn't they?
Okay, but you got to be more like taking your time with the softness and all that to really...
And I really don't even want the beers. I wish the breweries, if more breweries would brew some root beer. I would rather a nice fizzy, syrupy drink than a beer. I'm using your Wi-Fi. I'm lingering around, trying to be social, but I probably fucking won't. So I need to buy one of your wares, and they are alcoholic beverages. That food is overpriced. I'm going to eat something for cheaper at home. Please get some root beer.
Really break them in and all that. No, no pun intended, and everything. That's if they go that route. They might go and say, hey, we got to get rid of the bottom teeth and just give you dentures behind here, but we'll bridge you here. They might do that too, but I think it's going to be a bridge all around.
Okay, so this is a big ol' tooth update, this vlog. Let's jump another 2 minutes ahead. I'm not a dentist. I don't find this particularly fascinating, talking about the dental work you have going in.
See how things are going and how you're going to work around it to make content for your videos and everything, because it is hard. It is hard to do, but I am in planning stages as well, because I do have something coming up today. I do have an unboxing video coming.
He's in the planning stages. That reminds me of my opener of I did enjoy that joke. Maybe I should dabble in stand up again. I could bring that one back. That's a timeless joke about not hitting continue on life. I'm now in the planning phases. Ha 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 ha.
Coming, because I have something coming from Amazon, because I finally used my 25 that I got from my niece.
Look at me talking about getting into stand up. How many of my 10-plus-year-old jokes can I drag back out to get back into stand up? How can I do stand up with no work whatsoever? Oh, good Lord. I am just 3 steps away from Stuttering John.
I used my 25 I got from her, $25 gift card to get something. So basically, I'll let you know more about that during the unboxing. And I'm also planning to, hopefully, if things work out right, get a MetaQuest 3S in the future. That's right, a MetaQuest 3S in the future.
MetaQuest 3S.
So that I can basically...
that's not a Nintendo.
So I can basically, utilize that, instead of always being on the computer. But I also plan to get a
so you can have this portable computer. That way you're not on the computer all day. You're on the computer and this portable device.
Mini PC.
I just described all of us, didn't I?
I have one in mind. It's one of the more talked about ones. And it should be enough for me to do what I got to do when it comes to like online and content creation and all that. But yeah, outside of everything I just mentioned, it's been an okay week.
I look like Don King. What is a more updated reference to someone with wild ass hair like that? I look like Don King. I'm not rewriting Stuttering John's jokes, or should I?
And
I could definitely get some dabblers coming to a show if I'm like, I took all of John's jokes and I just shined them up a little.
Like I said, a week from this Monday, things are going to really start changing for the better and everything. And that's how we find out what the next step will be when it comes to these down the line. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are, though, on what I've had to say and everything. What do you...
Oh, I skipped way past everything you said. Nothing you said in this video fascinated me. That first video fascinated me. And I don't know, the background fascinated me more, even though I can see the dilapidated house here just fine in this exact shot that fascinated me so much in the first one.
Your thoughts on the whole...
I need to get a thesaurus. I just said fascinated about 8 times in 3 minutes, didn't I?
Dentist situation I have to go through. And let me know if you've gone through this to where, your mouth has been like that, basically, to where it's like the back teeth are gone, but the front of the teeth are still there, except for one. And, your upper teeth are mostly still there, but 2 of the fronts are gone.
I would love if he would just say, "Excuse me," and just yelled at the neighbor kids to shut the fuck up. He's making a video.
Let me know what your thoughts are on all that. Let me know what procedures you went through to make something like that occur. Did you go for a bridge, dentures, implants? What was easier for you? Did you go veneers for a bit? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And what are your thoughts on the whole Minecraft controversy and the audience reaction deal? That was kind of weird itself. And also let me know if you guys have...
So this is what it's like when I babble on and sign off 8 times at the end of an episode.
We've gone through a situation to where...
I'll try to keep my sign-offs to 2-3 max.
You've had to work around certain arrangements, living arrangements and all that to provide content for your channel and your followers and subscribers. Let me know down below, comment if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video and everything. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, like the video, share the video. Also, click on the links in the description to find my content elsewhere.
Can I get this clean? Like, anytime I watch this movie, it's gonna have that shit around you, right? because I would kind of want that clean without any of that any of those pop-up windows. Instead of telling people to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share, comment after it's done. I really like the way you put it. That was very elegant, much more elegant and angelic, as Matthew Hipner pointed your voice out to be, than I could be. So that, I think, will be it today for our buddy. Yeah, that is all I had from our friend BW Rosas, except for the Sonic 60-minute. Oh, nope. Don't do that. Don't do that. I almost accidentally kicked myself out of the room. Let's do it here.
Getting the shoulder up before two.
Clearly, she's still got a lot of fight left in her.
So just going to check in for a little bit. Let's jump. Oh, that was a nice little uppercut.
Oh, what's this going to be?
Oh, the WWE games have a door. Not just tables, but doors. They have varieties of things you can throw people through. I remember when that "This is Awesome" chant was exclusive to TNA Wrestling. Took the WWE fans years to adopt it as well. Yeah, that's a 3 count.
2 count, and she gets a fall.
And you're like, Dillon, that was a 3 count after the Superman punch from one Sonic 2 character to another. But this is an Iron Man match, so it goes on until the 60 minutes is done, and the winners with the most falls. So here we are, 29 seconds left. Is that... No, they're a tag team. That can't be... I don't know what those numbers represent. That's not numbers of falls.
Late in the match, she scores a fall.
Oh, we missed the exciting part. What led to that fall? Oh, the tit push. The jumping tit push.
And she thwarts the pin attempt in one.
Where is she?
I can see why she thought the jumping tit push would get it done.
The sleeper.
Not sure why, but she releases the hold.
Furries choking out furries.
Runs out, and there's the Iron Man.
The knothole freedom fighters. That certainly sounds like ladies who want to peg their men. The knothole freedom fighters. We need to free that butthole of yours with our special belt.
And match winner.
Here are your winners. And guys, that was just...
And you can see that he gave Bunny Rabbit there she's got the same tights as she does on her one arm, because Bunny Rabbit had robot legs and a robot arm. So nicely done there. What was that move that got the final 3 count? Why am I fascinated by this? I don't know, but...
Shoulder tackle. She got the shoulders down.
Oh no, that was the tit push that only got us a 2 count.
Hooked up. Inverted. You got to cover. Late in the match, she scores a fall.
Oh, okay, those are falls. So the 30 falls, 27 falls. That must be BW Rosas playing against the computer, who has 1 fall apiece against him. An absolute blowout here on the... I definitely would Bunny Rabbit and Amy Rose once she's of age. The other two, I'm not so sure about. Scott Fitzgerald. Scott Fitzgerald. I'll get your name out correctly one of these times. Thanks for dropping in and for sticking around this long. We do have our lady clowns. First off, my favorite lady clown, it is Haunted Peppers, Garfield enthusiast, and known by many other names on many other platforms. I wish you just would have... I like Haunted Peppers. I like that name. Sounds unique. And she has this. What do you get when you boil a clown? And she's not going to give us an answer. Let's go to the comments section. A clown with third-degree burns. Yep, I'll go ahead and give that one a like. I don't know. I couldn't bring myself to do it. John, you're lame. Probably a horror movie villain with a generational curse. What? B. Some people would say... okay, so it looks like they did not come up with a proper punchline to this. But I will ogle the female witch, clown, lady, goth of the hour, Haunted Peppers. Well, I said of the hour. I lied, because I have one other clown lady. The one that was featured on the most recent bonus episode. I have another episode from Bouncy Clown. There is something very... she seems like young and sexual. I'm not sure if that's what she's going for, but she seems like a barely legal type clown, the way that she talks and has braces and such.
No, it's fine. I just thought that you would be excited if I gave you something like that.
And they changed the way here where I can get that full screen. There we go. Used to be 1 click. Now it's 2 clicks. How dare you, TikTok?
I mean, it's my real tooth. I thought you would want to wear it. You know that I already got in trouble because I took it from the dentist. Like, the least you could do is, like, wear it because it's, like, something that came out of my skull. Also, the dentist did say I had an abnormally large tooth.
That's what I was thinking. But it kind of makes sense for a clown to have an abnormally large tooth. Clowns have all sorts of abnormally large things. Like their labia.
Out. I just feel like you should appreciate that. You know what? Fine. I get it. It's a little...
Billy Bob Thornton would absolutely do it. This boyfriend who you're talking to right here is definitely not Billy Bob Thornton, because him and Angelina Jolie wore each other's blood around their necks in vials.
Controversial for you to wear, but...
So a tooth.
I think it's like a really nice fashion statement. It's like a fashion piece. It says, I like teeth. Anyways, I feel like you should wear it. Or else.
I do like that or else at the end there. That is showing a little bit of an evil streak. And I don't know. I think I would rather wear a Thompson's tooth around my neck. It's the only teeth that are strong enough to eat other teeth. Thompson's teeth. As much as I love you and all of your body parts, sexy clown lady, it's no Thompson's tooth. And Rini came up with a great punchline. For a boiling a clown, you get a laughing stock. I like it. You got yourself a stew. Throw yourself a clown bone in there. You got yourself a stew. A funny tasting soup. Radi's better at these word games. As a self-proclaimed comic wannabe dropout of stand-up comedy, I should be quicker on these punchlines instead of crowdsourcing to find something funny. It's almost as if I'm a hack fraud. Almost. Yes. Well, that is all for today's episode. Spurgsnake is going to be... Spurgsnake Tatlin. Spurgsnake is a tattletale on our wordplay winner of the day, saying that there's an asterisk. Well, we're gonna have to go to the judges there. We either have a wordplay winner of the day or some we might have some false accusations from this tattletale Spurgsnake. And Spurgsnake will be here tomorrow. We'll be coming on as Hack Ride goes off. So I think I would like to mix it up as I'm unemployed. I was really sad about the. I've been doing bad interviews. There was a brand ambassador interview that when I walked out of there, I was like, I fucking stunk at that one. And it's it's like riding a bicycle, just being social in general. I was so good at being the awkward type in Los Angeles. So that's kind of the type I am. I was going to wrap that up in a nice story bow, and I kind of forgot where I was going. Just like our buddy, the Babbling Walker, BW Rosas. Most of those videos were, dare I say, fascinating. But that last one, that last one kind of stunk. 10:30 tomorrow. I was signing off. That's right. Thank you all for joining, and like, subscribe, notification bell to help us out here. Chatting, leaving comments, that helps as well. And of course, the monetary way to help, just like all our beloved chatters with those green names have. You can become a member for $4.99 a month and get some bonus episodes of the nonsense we have going on behind the paywall. So signing off for realsies this time. I believe this is the third sign off, below the average of 8 times of signing off. Thank you all for joining. Now feel free to go away.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for going on this adventure with me. It's fun being with friends. I'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye for now.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day.
Places all. All join hands, circle left. Now circle right and listen to me. LS, MFT. Elementary corners like swinging on a gate. To right to you, honey, with the right left 8. Grand right and left around you go. Lucky strike means fine tobacco. Meet your honey and give her a whirl. All swing around with the little girls. Smoke 'em, then you'll see. LS, MFT. Promenade and don't you fall. Promenade around the hall. Lucky strike is first again with tobacco men. Promenade straight down the pike. It's time right now for a lucky strike. Yes, for smoking that you're bound to like, you just can't beat a lucky strike.